Being a football fan is great, especially when you're a kid. And one of the best things about it are football collectibles. I'm talking Panini stickers, match attacks, signed shirts and autographs. But with the world becoming more and more digital, let's take a look at the decline of football collectibles. And we're going to start with Panini stickers. Started in Italy in 1961, Benito and Giuseppe Panini worked at a newspaper distribution office where they found a collection of stickers. They were able to sell 3 million of these packets, which started Panini. It became huge in the 60s, and then for the 1970 World Cup they created their first World Cup sticker book album. It was an absolute revelation. I mean, growing up in any decade really, if you love football, Panini stickers were not far behind. They were so big that apparently in America alone in 2010 for the South Africa World Cup, they sold 10 million packets. There was something about just getting those shiny cards in the packets. I mean, I never completed a full album, but I've completed multiple teams, and there was something just brilliant about begging your mate to trade you his duplicate Swedish left back so you could finish the squad. It was, and it still is, a bit of a rite of passage that if there's a World Cup or a Euro tournament going on, you have to buy the Panini sticker book. I mean, to put it in context, the most expensive sticker ever sold by Panini, 470k for a Boca Juniors Maradona card. But what about Panini today? Well, I suppose it's a sad day for a lot of Panini and just football fans. Topps came in and got the rights to the 2024 and the 2028 Euros. I mean, this is really the equivalent to the Beatles and the Rolling Stones rivalry in the football sticker world. But Topps did face criticism for not having all of the players in all of the teams. In 2024, they didn't have Phil Foden and John Stones in the England squad. However, they did have players like Rico Lewis and Luke Thomas. I mean, I don't even know if half you know who Luke Thomas is, but he's never going to be a regular England player. He's barely played a game. It definitely does take you out of the immersion when you do see a player who has literally had one appearance for England get into the sticker book. But nowadays, the landscape has completely changed because of digital, because of the internet. Online sticker books and collections have become much more of a thing, especially with the younger generations. Because when I was a kid, and yeah, nostalgia, whatever, it was only really physical sticker books. But nowadays, the target audience who are kids, they have tablets, they have phones at age 6 or 7. So they aren't going to want to spend ages sticking in their collections. They're going to want to be playing on their little mini games online. It's got a huge dedicated fan base, Panini, but it definitely is a shrinking one. But you just have to look at the revenue, because in 2018, for Panini, it was over $1 billion. In 2024, it just reached $750 million. So clearly they're still doing very well, and they've got a very dedicated fan base, but it is a shrinking one. But the rival to Panini and stickers have always been trading cards. And what's the difference? Well, one sticks and one doesn't. Match attacks undoubtedly were the best. The amount of duplicates I found looking at my mum and dad's house of William Gallas or Titus Bramble, and the difference is they had attributes on them. And I'll be honest, as a kid, we didn't really play against each other in the way they were played. It's like Pokemon. I don't think most of the people who collect Pokemon cards play the way it's meant to be played. In reality, it just meant if you had a good card or not. But trading these, I mean, schools turned into like dodgy underground black markets. Parents were getting involved. There was conspiracies. There was so much drama. I mean, take me back to those 2000s where trading cards were literally getting banned in schools because people were falling out over them. I mean, when a mum is coming into a school and complaining that their son's 100 Club Didier Drogba has been stolen off him, you know something is so iconic. But it was rare to get one of those 100 clubs. I mean, when you did, when I got my Steven Gerrard 100 club card, I nearly passed out. It gave you a certain status walking around as a 9-year-old with that card in your pocket. And having a folder instead of a sticker book, it gave you a certain feeling of ownership because you could take them out of the pockets. You could put them in team order, you could put them in formation, or anywhere you wanted to. To me, the late 2000s of match attacks were the peak era of trading cards. But unfortunately, one of the main competitors for all of this is FIFA Ultimate Team. And if you don't know, I mean, most people will, but it's a virtual game mode where you can buy, sell, pack loads of players, and play with them online. It's a bit of a half-arsed collector's platform merged with an online gambling site for children, but whatever you want to call it, it's definitely put a dent in collectible items with stickers and trading cards. You have to admit, if you're a young lad and you're looking at it, why would you collect stickers that you can't play with instead of going online with your mate, packing these players, and then playing with them in a virtual game. Because essentially it's the same way I didn't want to play with my dad's Subbuteo set, I wanted to play on my PS2. There'll always be an audience for nostalgia. I mean, literally, I'm speaking about nostalgia now. You'll watch online, people are getting so many views opening 2007 packs of Match Attacks. The last thing I'll say on this, I think it will make a bit of a comeback because I feel people want physical things again. They're getting tired of having these virtual things that can get taken away from them in a moment's notice. Because no one, I repeat, no one can take away that 2004 Euro sticker book that you spent far too much money on completing. But we'll move on, and we'll move on to football mags. People say this isn't collectibles. I think it is because I still have loads. Well, not here, but at my mum and dad's. I can't speak for other countries, but growing up, Match Mag and Match of the Day magazine were staples of growing up as a football fan in the 2000s. And if you're a bit more sophisticated or over the age of 13, you might be reading 442. Apparently in the mid-90s, Match Mag was doing around 240,000 copies a week. The last figures I could find were in 2018, and they're doing about 20,000 a week now. Look, I'm not breaking any new ground, print media is clearly dying. People say it's already dead. And you have to argue with the oldest generation probably being the last that are dedicated to print media. After that, who's actually going to read it? And all of these companies have adapted to be online because if they didn't adapt, they would have died off. However, there was something about collecting those magazines. I mean, getting the annual edition of Match Mag each year. I mean, they used to do posters in these magazines that you could literally take out and put on your wall. Again, if you're a bit more sophisticated like 442, they might have a bit of aftershave in the middle, you never know. It's not like I'm 40, like I say. I've lived pretty much all my life in the digital generation. But what I'd say about print magazines compared to online articles, the advertisers have already paid to be in there because they can't pay after it's been released, can they? So they don't need to clickbait, they don't need to rage bait you to go and buy it. It really did feel 442 got released, I believe, every 2 weeks or every month. Match Mag every 2 weeks. You just go buy it regardless. You wouldn't go buy it because it had an exclusive interview with John Terry's Scandal. Yeah, it might make a few more people inclined to get it, but it had such a loyal fan base. Whereas nowadays, everything is begging for your attention online. You look at the Daily Mail, you'll have a seizure reading their headlines because they're trying to get all of the SEO rankings online. I'm not saying every article was really intellectual and you had to really focus on it because there was a lot of gossip in these magazines. But for the most part, if you bought a physical magazine and it said Wayne Rooney exclusive interview, it's not like an online site where you're like, is it even real? You know it's real when you read it. So that is a shame because the reason for this is literally because print media is dying because of the internet. And it is unfortunate because, like I say, when I went to see all my old magazines, it's a moment in time. It was seeing Fernando Torres in a Liverpool shirt. You've seen Cristiano Ronaldo. All of the countless magazines he was on at Man United. Whereas now, I read The Athletic weekly. I don't save those articles. Once I read them, they are gone and I can't find them again. What about the Matchday Experience collectibles? And before I go into it, yes, the answer will be it's gone digital. So let's just get that out of the way now. But just humour me, because how many of you guys get a program before a game? It used to be a tradition for me. If I would go to a stadium, me or my dad would always get a program before the game. And it does feel like a dying breed. And I'd say the first reason is because of mobile phones. If you went into a game half an hour early, like I used to go to Leeds all the time, I'd see Jermaine Beckford sky it over the bar 5 times in the warm-ups, and then I'd be like, well, what am I going to do for the next 15 minutes? You'd normally read the program. It had interviews, you could read the team sheet, but now you have your phone that can just keep you entertained for the next 15 minutes, so you don't need that physical entertainment. And I'll just go back to the team sheet because it's not like nowadays where 5 hours before a game, you know what the squad is. For me, that is one of the bad things about nowadays on Twitter or anything. In the Euros, for example, we know the England squad, maybe even the day before, and that is so boring because it's exciting waiting until the hour until the game and you see, oh my god, Cole Palmer's starting or Bukayo Saka's starting. If you know 6 hours before the game, it just takes away that kind of pre-match nerves that you used to get. But we're all culpable because we all click on those team news because we need to know literally instantly. So why am I going to read it on the back of a program? I already know probably before the program seller knows. Also, the issue with programs, because the world is going more contactless, isn't it? Loads of people don't really carry cash around. And a lot of these program sellers, I mean, I'm blaming it on them to be fair. They don't have card machines a lot of the time. They'll make triple the sales if they had a mini card machine. I mean, maybe your team does. But in the same way, I like a magazine because it captures a moment in time. It also captures a moment in time when you can look back and you go, oh yeah, I went to see Reading versus Bolton, or I went to see Wolves versus Leicester. We'll go on to the tickets because this is just a quick one, but they're becoming more digital nowadays, aren't they? If I'm not mistaken, aren't away tickets in the Premier League completely digital? I might be wrong on that, but if that is the case, then it's boring, isn't it? It's nice to have the option of having a physical ticket. If I am saying a positive of it being digital, I mean, it blows my mind that back in the day, if you lost your ticket, you're not going to the game. If you wash your jeans with your ticket in the night before, you're not going to the game. I mean, that is baffling. I mean, nowadays you have full email change, you have receipts, you have QR codes that if you lost it, it will help you get it back. But on the other hand, how cool is it going through your dad, your uncles, your granddads, your mums, your aunties, all their tickets from over the years, not even just football, but concerts. People have prints of loads of tickets put together. Post game, what do we reckon about signatures? And I have a bit of I don't know if it's unpopular, I think if you're a grown man, I'd struggle to ask for a signature off a footballer. Especially if he's younger than me, I just find it a bit odd. But I completely respect if you enjoy it. But as a kid though, I completely understand them, and I have so many signatures of players that I used to watch all the time. I think the thing is with nowadays, it's the minority that ruins it for the majority, because you'll see with like rock stars as well, they refuse to sign album covers because people just sell them on eBay. It will ruin it for a little kid trying to get Virgil van Dijk's autograph, because there might be a grown man in his 50s trying to sell it for 200 quid online. This isn't a new phenomenon, people have been doing this for years. I bet they did it in the 70s, 80s, 60s, whatever. They forged signatures and a lot of people just sell them on. However, I feel like these people in the public eye, they are moving away from it because like, I can't be bothered. You know what, if I'm just going to sign it and you're going to sell it on, what's the point? I mean, the worst ones are the dads who make their kids go up to the player and then they'll sell it. I mean, what a sad life that is. The one collectibles that I'll say in this video that I believe have increased are football shirts. And I'm a prime example, I love collecting football shirts nowadays. It seems like the younger generation have this obsession, like including myself, with the 90s, the 80s, and the designs that they had. I personally think, like I've said a billion times before, it's because the designs nowadays are nowhere near as creative as they were back then. The retro football shirt market has absolutely boomed in the last 5 or 10 years, and that's because younger people are collecting them more, and also older people, or no disrespect to anyone, but they're looking back and they're going, yeah, I really like the old collection that I've got in my wardrobe that I've never seen for 15 years. So at least there is a part of collectibles that is still booming now. We're gonna finish on a bit of a rogue one, but we're gonna finish on figurines. Look, I miss Subbuteo. I never played it because I had FIFA and PES. Why would I play Subbuteo? It just didn't make any sense. But I did have loads of those Corinthian Pro Star figures. Like I say, when you're digging out stuff from the past and you're finding figures of Pascal Chimbonda knocking about, it does just pull you back to a time when you're just a bit more innocent with football. If you haven't heard of them, they were minifigures, normally a little cartoon version of players with like massive heads. Nowadays, Corinthians stopped producing the figure. I mean, they did that years ago. And again, times change. Football merchandise in the 90s and 2000s, it was huge. But again, people just want different things. Gaming boomed, match attacks came round, and people wanted less duplicates of Jermaine Genius cluttering up the bedroom. In summary, it's gone online, if I hadn't mentioned it. People still collect football things. I've got loads of prints and coasters and, like I say, football shirts knocking about my house. And like I said earlier in the video, I think it's going to go the same way as music is going with vinyl. Vinyl will never be the same as the 80s and 70s. However, sales are massively going up because people want ownership again. They want to feel it in their hand. It's not the same collecting a sticker online to opening a pack and getting your favourite player. So I can see sticker books, match attacks, tops, whatever. I can see them becoming, vintage to younger kids and them collecting them. Because you are damn right, my imaginary kids that I'll have in the future, they are going to find 5 Yossi Benayoun cards for Liverpool stuffed at the back of my wardrobe somewhere. But let me know what you think of football collectibles. Maybe you are still into all of the stuff that I've mentioned. That's brilliant if you are, because you're keeping it alive. But unfortunately a lot of people aren't, and like I say, it's because it's gone online. But like I say, let me know in the comments what you think. If you could leave a like on this video, it'd be much appreciated. Leave a comment like I say, subscribe to the channel, but thanks for watching.